And here we are again. Another thrilling tale for the adventures of the kobolds. Last time, for the kobolds, you all continued to gather the individual pieces of the Arcane Octad, the ritual with 8 parts, each one slotted into a different tower, each one belonging to a different school of magic in the city. You had surpassed the illusion that had almost prevented you from entering the Tower of Illusion, as well as you had found a piece of the divination puzzle that was locked behind a strange artifact that plucked out one of Muerte's eyes in order for you to find the answer in a in an observatory where some of Avarice's stooges had been murdered by what appeared to be known as a blue slod, a creature that infests you with some sort of strange disease or implants in some sort of strange creature inside of you, only for it to emerge later and burst from your chest. That both thankfully, all of them thankfully dead, except for an astronomer of some kind, looking through a telescope, who didn't want anything to do with you, just seemed to be just happy, mumbling and grumbling as he continued whatever work he was attempting to finish, which, as he wasn't bothering you, you didn't bother him, and you got the piece of the ritual and went on your merry way. To which now you have arrived at the Tower of Evocation. An axe-shaped tower with all manner of evidence on the inside of being blasted every which way through decades of evocation magic, and probably the reason why it's the only tower that's the most unfazed, because it was probably built to last. You probably know why. But as you got to the top, you determined that there was, in fact, the last piece of the Arcane Octad behind a thin layer of ice. This thin layer of ice was also present on several 10-foot wide, 10-foot high, square-shaped, cube-like objects in several 8 corners of the room, in which one of them was a wizardly skeleton. Thinking nothing of it, the rest of you retreated down the staircase as Skinnock lit a fireball into the room. And as he scurried in to see the hopefully melting piece of ice, the roof is slowly melting as the brazier in the center of the room caught fire. However, it seemed as if the blocks of ice were not what they seemed, as 8 gelatinous cubes began to unthaw, ever so slightly damaged by the fireball, but mostly ready to eat after thousands of years of inactivity and stasis. So, everyone already has initiative up and running. I've rolled for the enemies. I'm rolling them in groups this time. I have the red group, a blue group, a green group, and an orange group. So they all have different initiatives. So they're all not going at once. I think I've learned from the hags to maybe split it up just a little bit. So
quality of life improvement.
Yes, a quality of life improvement, hopefully. But while we're on the subject of that, let's go ahead and dive. There we go. Into combat. Some music by the wonderful and talented Travis Sawa. And the first one up is you, Scales. What do you do?
I'm going to start with something as simple as throwing some coins into the area.
Mm-hmm.
And casting enemy objects on them.
Okay. Let me see where I put those coins. Yeah, here they are. Just gonna Put that back. Copy, copy, copy. And how many are you summoning again?
8.
8 of
One
them.
for each.
Okay. And are you let's see. Where did they appear? Let me paste one right here.
I just kind of threw them into the, like, right where the stairs are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so like right around right here then. Okay.
Yep. And then each one is going to fly itself into the space of one of the slimes.
Alright, so let me just paste these, and you can change the health at your wish to what that should be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. There we go, 8 of these. So 1 over here, over there. I'll help a little bit to make this a bit quicker. 1 down there, and then oh, sorry. In my attempt to help, I have made things worse.
You go for it.
Sorry.
That's a large coin.
I know, it is a large coin, which shouldn't be. It should be tiny. Okay, there we go.
Okay. And then
Yeah, there we go.
for the benefits of everyone involved, for those of us with pack tactics, you would have advantage. But until those of us who have pack tactics can get in range, I'm going to command each of them as a bonus action to do the help action.
So all the coins are taking the help action.
And yeah.
Okay. So all the coins just start flitting about and just start poking and prodding into the gelatinous cube, and you see it start to wobble as they all begin to kind of slink, lurch forward slightly.
And that is my turn.
Very well. Hox Hagnar, you currently are at the head of this junction, so you would, if you were to go to the top of the staircase, you would be right around here-ish.
We'll go to the top of the staircase. Point. How much movement would that have been?
Not a lot. Probably no more than 5 feet.
Okay. Probably 10 because I'm squeezing, but
That's true. You are squeezing of it, so it would be considered difficult terrain. So that would probably be 10 feet of movement then. But then once you're out of there, you're no longer in difficult movement.
okay. I think that am I considered adjacent to this one?
Not yet. No, you probably need to move like 5 feet towards it.
Oh, I don't want to move towards it. I want to try and get myself adjacent to these two, but also leave the top of the staircase clear.
Okay. Then at that point, you become adjacent to those two.
What I wish to do I'm going to activate the Storm Rune so that I have even more things to do with my reactions, because, I need that. But this will, hopefully be able to help people out a little bit.
Indeed.
And then I'm going to make use of the help action. Because I think I'm the only kobold who is not... Well, I might want to save one for Muerte. So I'm going to make my attacks against this cube right here.
Okay. So you have advantage.
On the first attack.
First attack, correct.
So I'm going to use the... it's a magic weapon. I don't know. I'm going to use the javelin, I think. The Bloodfang javelin. So it's 3 attacks. First one has advantage.
Alrighty. So it will definitely hit.
Well, piercing 1 cold.
Yeah.
second attack.
That will also hit.
And third attack.
Okie dokie. Alright. You just start poking repeatedly into the jello, and you're just kind of like, as you kind of pull back, or bits of the gelatinous cube kind of pull out with it, leaving circular pincushion holes where you had impacted it. And it just kind of wiggles in response.
Okay. Unless I want to try to just action surge and eliminate one right now, I think that's my turn. There's no time like the present. I am going to action surge and just try to beat the snot out of this snot.
Okay.
So that's 3 more attacks. Bop, bop, bop.
If you want to, you also have Emboldening Bond, so if you need extra on one of them.
17 hit.
Indeed. In fact, hold on. All of these will hit.
Okay, so 12, 12, 11. So 35 more piercing and 14 more cold.
Okay, with the action surge, that will take out this gelatinous cube. As you start poking repeatedly, it eventually just dissolves into a puddle of jelly.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, it makes a gross little sound as it deflates like a balloon, a square-shaped balloon.
So anyway, I started stabbing. That will be Hox's turn.
Very well.
I'll stab him.
That will mean that it is Muerte's turn. Let me double check something here. Okay, cool. So Muerte's at the back, so she can't get too far. So 5, 10, 20, 30, and then at where Hawks was. So her movement speed is better because she is a axe beak. So she'll be able to just kind of barely get out of here and just be able to make way for people coming up the stairs. Because she still wants to use her action to mess up this cube right here. But she will attempt to do so by slicing with that newly designed, very fancy-looking moonlight axe beak cover. Just shining a nice little purple.
Of course.
Also, she has advantage for this attack.
She does for the first one, correct. Morte, terror of Thundra. If it will load on me. Here we are. So, first one is a 22. And the second one is a 15. Both will hit. So that's going to be 20 points of slashing damage. Hold on, let me double check. Is that a 19? No, it's not. Up for the 20. Okay. Okay, so that's 20 points of slashing damage. Not bad at all. Morte living up to her namesake. And that's going to be her turn. Then it's Villain's turn. She'll just kind of poke out the top right here. It's like, they're all different directions. I can't lightning bolt them. Very well. In that case, just kind of take a look at the one. So she'll move up right here. And then she'll target the one Muerte was tackling with a chill touch. 13 will still hit. For 7 points of necrotic damage against that one. And she will duck back down the stairs. And that'll be her turn. Now it is the green group's turn.
Green group goop.
The green group goop. Try saying that 3 times fast. Let me see.
You will not. I choose life.
Okay, well, so I'll move up to its speed. While doing so, can enter a large or smaller creature's space. Interesting. So. Bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. So, it's going to use its Gulf ability as it moves up to its speed. So, there's a larger small creature. So I need both Skanuk, and then I'll roll Muertes for a dexterity saving throw.
I was quite high in the air last I remember.
You were?
Yeah, because I was in the center and I was up at the ceiling to avoid getting fireballed from my fireball.
Very good. Okay, I had not remembered that. So in that case, it will be to the back here. It'll be going to the center, trying to warm itself up. You see 2 little pseudopods like raised in front of the fire, kind of like not rubbing them. You don't think it's intelligent enough for that, but it just kind of like hovers in front of it, trying to warm itself up a little bit more. But the other one will go for Muerte though, so that means Muerte will have to make a dex save. If she fails it, I might consider rolling Indomitable. But no need at all. As in fact, as the creature tries to devour Muerte, she will instead push back. She'll instead be pushed back. Let's see here, 5 feet to the side. She'll be pushed back right around here. And she just kind of like, as it tries to swallow her, she just kind of like bounces on top of it like a water bed, and then just rolls off to the side over here.
Does the Dark Souls roll?
Yeah, she Dark Souls rolls over the gelatinous cube.
Or say as the new Souls-like protagonist.
You kidding me? She's the first boss.
Bird Souls.
Bird Souls. Alrighty, so that's the green group's turn. Now it's the blue group. So the blue group. Yeah.
The 2 slimes that moved out of my coins are gonna get an attack of opportunity.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, the one that's in Skanuk's space, it won't, since it's technically still
right
there.
But the other one will.
Just 1 attack.
And 11 still hits.
For 7 damage.
7 damage. Damage is damage. Yeah, they're not very difficult to hit. They seem to have a lot of health, though. That is the trade-off. Alright, so opportunity attack settled for that slime. It's now the blue group's turn. Now, the blue group has the disadvantage of being in spaces that are difficult for them to move in. So... Yeah, so so what's gonna happen is instead, the slimes are actually gonna move into the spaces of the animated objects and try and engulf them.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll dex saves for those coins. Yes.
Some of the composition of this piece makes me think of a little bit like the kind of pacing and structure of like Banjo-Kazooie music.
A little bit.
It's obviously like a lot like darker tone. It's more minor, little bit of minor key there, but
Yeah. Travis Sawa has a lot of good music. If you want, dude, go check out his stuff. He's got some really good stuff. His Curse of Strahd album is particularly very good. If you want that darker tone, he's actually Travis was actually making soundtrack for Wild Beyond the Witchlight. He just released the first one out on his YouTube.
Ooh.
Yeah. So he's gonna
So
be
maybe some fun carnival themes, some nice wilderness music that is like a little bit more like sprightly and fun, maybe.
yeah. So like I'll be excited to see what he churns out. I'll be excited to see what he comes up with. So the first one, the one up here, you will watch as the coin. It's almost as if the gelatinous cube isn't completely reacting to it. It's just moving into the coin space, and you just see the coin go bloop, and it's just engulfed by the gelatinous cube. The other one is just pushed up or to the side of the other cube. So this one right here is engulfed. So it is currently restrained. Let's see here on a failed save. The interior. So it'll also take some acid damage. That particular coin that is currently engulfed, which I marked with a net, takes 10 points of acid damage. Yeah, so at the start of its turn, so it'll be when it comes to your turn, it's going to take some more acid damage. Unless, it'll still take it, but the engulfed creature can try to escape with a DC 12 strength check. Now the creature can also attempt to help as well. That's the blue group's turn. Meepo, it is your turn. Oh, and of course, Meepo is not here at the moment. They had BRB. Let's see here. Let's see. In that case, it's gonna take your turn real quick, and then when Steven comes back, we'll try and get back to him.
Okay. I will. Let's see. I will take a shot at this red one next to Hawks, I guess. Or no, this one that has a thing caught.
Yeah.
Actually, has a thing caught. I'll just take a quick shot with my firebolt. Shazam. That is the firebolt is.
That'll definitely hit.
It's just disgusting. It really is. That'll be 29 fire damage.
Ow. Owie. That definitely hurt it.
Behold the artillerist.
I'm beholding.
In his natural habitat, hovering over a room of gelatinous cubes and raining death upon them.
And just deep
It's a bit of a... It's a weird lifestyle, but I'm into it.
Alright, so that was your action.
Yeah, that's gonna be... I think that's gonna be my turn, actually. I'm not gonna... I don't have a bonus action. Just a moment.
Okay,
Just going up here.
Fair enough,
Raining fire from the heavens.
Just raining down death. It's just how you do it. Meepo, are you back yet? Alright, I'm gonna take that as a no. So that means red group will go, which means there's only one of them. So the one, let's see here, it could go towards Hawks, but I might leave that for the, let's see here. Yeah, because it's the one that's the most in front of it, it'll probably just go try and engulf that coin as well. So go ahead and roll a dex save for that coin for me. It is unfortunate. That is another coin that will take 16 points of acid damage. It is now engulfed by the cube. It will move like slightly over this way though, and right adjacent to you, Hawks. Yeah, so that means with that, it's the orange group. The orange group. Let's see. Yeah, this one is going to move into your space, Hawks, so I need you to make a dex save for me.
Okay. So this is a dex save that's targeting only me, and therefore from Shield Master, I will get my Shields AC as well to this deck save.
All right.
So let's roll good. 14 plus 3 for 17.
Okay. Brute, you reject the cube as it gets pushed to the side. You're too big. Too strong.
Back off.
Alrighty. That means this cube, so I'm going to need another deck save from this coin right here down here. Scales. As it... Alright, this coin just gets bumped to the side. Alright. Meepo, are you back yet?
Yes, I am. Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead and take your turn. I had the turn order move ahead.
That's fine. Let's see. I'm going to go up to the top of the staircase and do this on Hawks.
Ooh.
That's pretty good, actually.
And then
Yeah, that's a big deal. If one of these things does get me, it's just like, nope.
you just walk around. And then I guess I'll just stay there. That's a spell, so I can't use my bonus action to do Sanctuary. I've already used Emboldening Bond, so that's done. Yeah, that's it. That's my turn.
Okay. In that case, Scales, it is back to you. Currently, you have two of your coins are restrained and grappled, so they're going to take some damage. The ones that are engulfed at the moment. The ones that are engulfed take 17 points of acid damage.
Okay, so they're down.
Okay, that leaves you with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 others.
Most excellent.
The counter to animate objects is an equivalent number of gelatinous cubes.
Just it's cubes all the way down. You just open up a chamber and just like oh yes, I summon 12 coins. Yes. Oh, look at that, 12 gelatinous cubes all next to each other in the room.
Coin-sized gelatinous cubes to make it obvious that they're just to counter the coins.
Just a really spiteful DM.
Just that extra bit of rudeness.
The extra disrespect.
Okay, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 cubes, 6 coins, and I'm going to do my one-trick pony thing.
Mm-hmm. Aha!
It may be one trick, but it's a good trick.
It is a good trick.
I'm going to target. Let's do the 3 on the bottom and the
Okay.
2 blues.
3 on the bottom and 2 blues. Okay, perfect.
You know, there's that trope of, like, attacking faster than you can see, and then the person does that last little bit of sheathing the sword, and that's when it becomes obvious that got hit. I imagine that every single time here, Scales, like, ending up in a spot, like, lean
Oh my.
forward, and finishing sheathing the sword, and suddenly the damage is done.
That's
Oh!
exactly how
Oh! Wow!
Yeah.
Okay, that's a thing.
That's exactly what happened this time, for sure.
Yeah, I guess.
It is, in fact, what happens.
That's a lot of force damage. That's a lot of force damage.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
And it keeps up the tradition of the crits doing about what the normal hits do.
Yeah?
Saving you from 2 poor rolls, I guess.
And just go counterclockwise, so The orange below Hawks, and then just rotate counterclockwise.
Gotcha. All right, so 1, 2, 3.
Just the disrespect done to these gelatinous cubes.
It's perfect, really.
Holy crap.
And then 17.
I didn't even have a reason to use a reaction. I have so many reactions to use, and I didn't have a reason to.
Right. So none of the cubes go down, but you just kind of you all watch as Scales leans forward, and then you just watch as suddenly there's just in the center of the room there's just a pile of smaller gelatinous cubes that just occupy and are now burning in the brazier. They're just as you now see the other cubes are now just all carved into weird shapes that are just now wobbling at weird angles.
Somebody got one of those cookie cutters for the Jello.
Yep. That's a lot of damage in one turn. Oh boy. Well, I assume that's your turn, unless you wish to move anywhere.
Now I want Jello.
Same.
I kind of do too, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So, my apologies. Did you want to stay where you are, Scales, or are you good?
Yeah, because of the teleportation, ending with the most northern blue cube, I would basically just end right where I was.
Okay. Fair enough. That means, Hawks, it is now your turn.
Well, there's a very injured cube beneath me,
Mm-hmm.
which means I have a chance of potentially finishing it off. I think one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to give myself I'm gonna use my bonus action to Giant's Might, so one of my attacks will have that extra D6. What is it at this point? It's a D8, right?
D8 should be.
Yeah, so I'm already large, so I don't change. But I have an extra D8 of damage I could deal somewhere. And you have the coins all help again, right?
No.
Ah. Okay, in that case, this is a normal roll. I will attempt to shank this lower cube. One
Do you have
attack.
any available?
What's up?
Do you have any roars available?
I'm using Giant Smite this turn to,
Right.
yeah, try and get some extra damage off.
15 will hit.
So, 11 piercing, 6 cold.
Okay. It is still up, but barely.
8 piercing, 1 cold.
Okay, with the damage from the fireball that was done in the beginning of the combat, that will be enough to take it down.
Alright, and then I will turn around and go for this one that is the red one here with my last javelin stab.
Alright,
23.
This was the one that was one of the least damaged ones, so I will go ahead and take that.
And I will add my Giant's Might 8d8.
Very good. That's an extra 4 points of damage.
Boom. Stabby stabby.
Stabbity stab. Alright.
And I've already used my bonus action, so that's my turn.
Alright, that means it is Muerte, Terror of the Tundra's turn. Let's see here. The most damaged one is gonna be the one that's underneath Skanuk. So yeah, that's what Muerte's gonna go after. And she will let out a fearful "Honk!" and just start tearing away. The 19 and 21, so both of those are gonna hit. Another 20 points of magical slashing damage, which is just enough to take that down. Which is feeling very good about herself right now. Now lead up to Villain's turn as well. Who will? Let's see here. And the only other one she can reach is the one that is next to Scales. She could, but it's also one of the more damaged ones up above as well. Yeah, she's gonna attack that one with Chill Touch, which will hit for 10 points of necrotic damage. Oh wow, the NPCs are putting in work as that one also goes down. The Steel Wind Strike really messes them up.
So that 188 damage.
188 damage. Okay. So, that's Villain's turn. Now it is the green group's turn, rather the green ooze's turn, because it's by itself now. It is going to... Yeah, it's going to try and engulf someone over here. Now let me double check this. It can enter large or smaller... It can enter large or smaller creatures' spaces. Okay. So, it's going to maneuver its way over here. So I need both Scales and Meepo to make dexterity saving throws for me. Okay, very good, very good. 23. All right, you are both bumped to a side of your choice of the cube, within 5 feet. So go ahead and move where you want. Let me move this thing to the back. All right, as it tries to slurp like over you, you just kind of like use the momentum, just kind of bounce off of the jelly of the cube in a direction that is more beneficial to you. Alright, so that's that creature's turn. It's now the blue group's turn, also by itself. Let's see, this one is...
It's Kloop Group's turn?
No, it's not Kloop group's turn. That's a different campaign. Let's see here. So it's going to move into Muerte and Meepo spaces. However, if Muerte is sucked in, it could only suck in Muerte. So let me roll Muerte first. There's a 15, so that's fine. So Meepo, go ahead and roll a dex save for me. 19. Okay, you get pushed around again to a side of your choice. Boing, boing, boing. Basically using them as Jello trampolines instead of actually getting hit.
Wow, that was weird.
Completely weird. Meepo, that means it's your turn.
Is Skanuk still in the air?
He should be.
Okay. Anybody hurt?
Not particularly. Or really at all.
Untouched.
All right.
The only casualties are
I'm
the
just
coins.
I'm just gonna dodge then. Just try to keep from getting sucked into those things.
Very well. With that then, Skanuk, it is your turn. Are you muted? Oh, hang on. Let me double check Discord to see if I missed a BRB message.
I think our food might have just arrived.
Ah, I see.
Very sorry, I had to step away from it. Did not BRB. Yes, my turn. So, let's see. Does anything have a coin in it currently?
No, the ones that had coins in them, the coins got engulfed and they're no longer in play.
Fair enough. Let's see. I guess this one here next to Scales, I think, is what I'm going to target. Actually, no, this one here next to Villain and Scales.
Indeed. The coins are adjacent.
That will be for anything else. So let's go ahead and just. There's this button. Firebolt. There's Firebolt. 22.
22 will definitely hit.
Dealing 17 fire damage.
17
Highs and lows.
Highs and
Swings and roundabouts.
Hot than your cold, yes, than you know. All right.
Literally hot because it was cold. And yeah, that song fits way better than it should.
Seriously. All right. So that is your turn.
Yes, that is my turn. Sorry, I've spilled something here. And
Oh no. I hope you can clean it up. Much like this cube in the red group will try and clean up Hawks. Let's see here.
Dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throws. It's gonna try and gulf you.
That'll be +3 for 20.
20? You just boing. It sprouts his back, kind of clowning all over these cubes. They're not having a good time right now.
Hey, back off! No touchy! No touchy!
So, however, the one comes up from behind. Bloop, 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 bloop. Make another dex save.
You know what's really fun? That bonus doesn't take my reaction to do, only the preventing the damage.
You
So
know
that's
what's
a 25. I will force it back with my shield as well. Hey! You two, hands off the merchandise!
You see two little pseudopods like attempt to slap you to in like a little at you, to try and get you to get into it, but to no avail.
Even if they did get him, it would just he just slipped through.
Yeah, he would sizzle the initial damage, but he would just be able to get out. Scales, though, is your turn again.
None of my current coins are grabbed yet, right?
Correct.
Okay. In that case, I will. Is this one down here?
Down here?
Yeah. Is that one dead, or is there one on top of that one?
There is one underneath that one that is dead.
Okay.
It kind of slurped over its companion's remains and absorbed it into itself.
Okay. So, all of them except for this green one is going to get 2 attacks on it, and then I'm going to firebolt that one.
Firebolt the green one, or?
Yes, the green one.
Gotcha. Okay. And swing away.
And we're going to start with the red one to the left and work clockwise. So red, blue, orange, I think it is.
Fair enough. Right, yes, both those will hit. Minus 16. Yep, all those will hit.
So 12 for both the blue and the orange.
Yeah.
And then I want to firebolt the green one, which I am within 5 feet, so it's disadvantage, but Skinnock is within 5 feet of it, so I have...
Skinnock, I believe, is in the air.
Skinnock's in the air?
Yeah, but Hawks is next to it.
That's true.
Meepo is too.
Yeah, Pete Mippo is too, technically. Alright.
honestly, in this particular arena, it's hard to find something that's not adjacent to something else.
Fair.
It's all confined. Alright, 17 points of fire damage as you point blank blast this cube, and as it just kind of like wobbles, you smell burnt caramelized sugar as the gelatinous cube kind of shrinks into itself. It is still up though. They're all looking pretty hurt though. All right, is that your turn?
That is it.
All right, Hawks, it's now your turn again.
At this point, I might as well roar. Well, at this point, it's a question of, like, conserving resources. And honestly, these things are easy enough to hit. I don't think I'm going to roar. Instead, I'm going to launch one attack against this bottom one. Bop.
Alright, definitely.
Second attack against it. Bop.
Okay, with that, that'll be enough to take it down. As you
And then
slice
my
it clean in two.
And then my last attack against this upper one. Bop. And I will add the D8 to this if it hit.
Right.
Which, at this point, I'm pretty convinced that it did hit. Because...
Yes.
So, 18 piercing and 6 cold to that one.
Mm-hmm. Very good, very good.
And I'm assuming these things can't be knocked prone, so I'm not going to bother trying to shove them.
Yeah, they essentially take up the whole space. Yeah,
If you tip it over, it's just on another side.
exactly.
Yeah, so I think that will be that for now. I don't think it makes sense to try anything else.
Okie dokie, that means it's Marte's turn again. Just gonna, do the old reliable beak against blue. Now both of those will hit. For 17 points of slashing damage, and she actually manages to take this one down. Marte putting in work. It could be so delicious if it didn't burn. As she just starts chopping it repeatedly. It's getting into my mouth.
So Marte was introduced to spice.
So tantalizing. I need more. It's Evelyn's turn.
Habanero ooze.
Yeah, as she's like, she gets partially blocked from entering the stairway, the top of the stairway, as the ooze is blocking it. So she's just gonna attack it from the stairway. The 14 to hit, which will hit. 11 points of necrotic damage. Chill touch. You just see a skeletal hand that's just kind of wringing the inside of the cube, and the cube just shivers every now and again. What were you gonna say? Oh.
This might be extra.
Okay. He's talking about his food, I think.
Oh, sorry. Regroup.
Yeah.
So let's see here. I'm gonna need another dexterity save, Scales.
Okay.
As this cube will attempt to go into your space. 8. That will be a failure. Do you have anything to attempt to
I'm going to invoke the storm room so you can re-roll it.
Alright.
Them reactions, though.
Them reactions.
Yep.
No!
LOL.
Well,
It was meant to be.
Being absorbed by a gelatinous cube is the least problematic thing that could happen to me.
You say this now. As you take
I was gonna say.
6 points of acid damage. As it moves into your space. Blah, 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 blah. With that...
Oh no. If only we had a nature cleric to give him resistance.
Shush. Shush.
Lol.
Blue Group is dead. Meepo, it's your turn.
He says that because I was dunking on the nature cleric earlier.
I know.
That's the one feature of the nature cleric that I really do like. But beside that,
Called out.
I was called out. Anyway,
I mean, we both agree that's a good feature.
yeah. Let's see, there are 2 left. Everybody's fine except for Scales just started suddenly getting acidified.
So as a note, creatures inside the cube can be seen, but they have total cover. Just as a
Right,
note.
so I can cast spells on them that require sight, but nothing else.
If they
He's
have
not
total cover,
deaf.
if they have total cover, you can't target them.
He's not deaf, and I can see him. A creature of
That's
your
some
choice that
wonky
you can see
wording.
within range.
Hang on. Total cover. Let's see. So, a creature with total cover can't be targeted directly by an attack or a spell, although some spells can reach a target by including it in an area of effect. A target has total cover and is completely sealed by an obstacle.
Hmm.
This is considered total cover in the wording of the ability.
Which are you thinking of doing? Any particular ability that with this in mind?
I want to do Healing Word.
Then you could not cast Healing Word on him.
Okay, then I take the dodge action.
Okay. Fair enough. Skanuk.
So, because I feel a little bad about forgetting to Flash of Genius skills, which is a thing I could have done, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go for Scorching Ray on this particular thing,
Mm-hmm.
which will be 3 attacks. All of which have advantage. 1.
I guess, yeah, Scales isn't incapacitated. He's just contained.
He's just contained.
Alright, so that's 13 fire, followed up with. Right.
Okay.
11.
Okay, so
11.
so the 11 will kill it. So if you want to target another cube, you may do so.
Okay, I guess there's only 1 left.
Yep.
He'll take 7 fire damage
Okay.
because of the awesome power of elemental atom.
So you were then released, Scales. Just wallowing in a pool of jello. That tingles slightly.
Hmm.
Very well.
Yeah, I'm glad I used that
10 out of 10 does not recommend.
Well, it's funny. It's not gonna happen to you again. But this poor Gelatinous cube. It's the last one left. It just wants to eat something. It's gonna try and engulf you, Hogs. Go ahead and make that dex save. It just wants something. 9.
That is +3 for my shield.
+3 from your shield?
5 from me.
That'll be
It's
enough.
needed.
Bonk.
What's the DC?
The DC is 12.
Oh, fair enough.
It's not it's a particularly low CR creature, which is why
I was just asking because I was ready to like Flash of Genius if he needed it, and I didn't know what the
yeah,
DC was.
he did not need it. It was just what he needed.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was re-looking at the DC to make sure I was correct.
Efficiency.
Efficiency. Which means back to you, Scales. There's only 1 left. 1 poor gelatinous cube. As it wobbles in your direction. It is close to death. You may end its suffering if you wish. What do you what does Scales say with vicious mockery?
Go back to port, you dungeon Roomba.
No.
Disrespect is met with disrespect.
One final burst of defiance. This gelatinous cube looks at you and is about to engulf you, but then all the coins come in all at once. It's like watching as the coins almost like go into the cube and start like wrecking it from the inside, starting to shred it. Like two ping pong balls in a vat of jello. It just starts like wrecking it, and then it just gets completely shredded and then just turns into a puddle of jello and dies. And with that, combat is concluded. You all take a breather and just feel it. Just all your nostrils are just filled with just the scent of burning gelatin. It just fills the entirety of the air. It almost kind of like resembles a very shoddy bakery with how sugary the air kind of smells. It's like it's a bit strange.
All right.
Indeed. So, you do have to wait a little bit, as the brazier is slowly melting the ice. But it takes enough time that you all can take a short rest if you so desire to.
Yes. Have to replenish that,
I can roll hit dice like a nerd.
Nerd!
That gets me back my Storm Rune and my Action Surge, which are both pretty dang excellent to get back.
Valen will kind of settle in, kind of like warm her hands over the fire. Ah, that is a bit odd, but I don't believe anyone is damaged too much. I think I count this as a success in my book.
Yeah.
I think we're making good time over Avarice's goons. From my calculations, we've already beaten to a majority of the towers, although in the time that we took for the rest, they may have caught up to us partially. But they won't be able to catch up to us completely, not with what we've erased so far.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that in mind, I'm curious if she might try and confront us. Or perhaps she thinks she might have the upper hand, considering that she thought that she had shredded, covered up the divination answer, the divination part of the Octad. But we managed to, or rather, you, Skinnock, managed to cleanse that. She might try and hold that against us, but we have the information anyway. So, I think we're in good standing. I can't possibly fathom how she might get ahead of us at this rate.
Well,
Unless she got like a... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's gonna be like, unless she got like a scholarship or something from the Demi-Lich, you don't think he gives out scholarships, do you?
I don't think so. With Iriel Office's reaction to uncovering the secrets of Yithrin, I very much doubt that any sort of treaty could be broken between someone, unless you somehow convinced the Demi-Lich that you were perhaps a resident, but even then, I don't see how you could do such a thing. You managed to at least convince him to leave us alone with the clipboard, but I think that was more of a partially a stroke of your genius and partially the withering mind of an old creature.
Clipboard is the greatest magical object I have ever created.
It's quite effective, honestly.
Sometimes I wonder if it wasn't just given to me by a higher power.
What do you think its rarity? Rare? Very rare? Does you think it requires
Correct.
attunement?
It doesn't, and that's the true power.
I think you can just pick it up off the street. That being said, do we want to go to that, what was it, menagerie? Before we get involved with the Octad, or do we want to just get this over with? I'm really curious about it. I know Scant is probably.
Considering that we are very far ahead, or at least I believe we are, this is just my guess, but I believe we're far enough ahead of Avarice that we're not in any danger of her piercing the veil of the force field. We have information that she can't possibly have. So I think, unless we want to be ambushed by her at some point at the entrance, I believe we can continue at our own pace from here.
I think there was 1 or 2 more buildings we were looking at going visiting.
Is it alright if I do an insight real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Just paranoia acting up.
14? All right,
That's going to be a 19 with Genius.
19?
Unlike Valin.
Oh, so go ahead.
I'm vaguely suspicious that like Valin might have taken Iris's offer, but that's not likely.
You think she's being very genuine. You think, given the fact that you guys have been very smart about how you've handled hiding information from Avarice, and as well as covering your tracks, vandalizing the ruins in such a way that you don't think any sort of, unless the people in question had mending, there probably isn't a way you could, like, repair those. Like, you were able to repair with mending, but unless they had it, they wouldn't be able to. So you think she's being genuine. You think that with all the work that you all have done, you've given yourselves enough time to move at your leisure.
Fair enough.
Of course, that doesn't mean that the agents of Avarice are going to be inactive. You might still encounter them, should chance or fate decide it. But as far as them going into the force field ahead of you, you don't think that's possible at this point.
Unless they've had an invisible goon following us the entire time.
Quick roll a perception check.
Please. 14. No. Double 14.
Double 14. You don't see anything. 16 plus 3.
19.
19. You don't hear anything, Epo. You don't see anything. You don't hear anything other than your group. You're pretty sure that you're alone.
Bond is done, by the way.
Man, I wish I had the materials to cast True Sight.
I mean, I was just shitposted. I doubt that they've got an invisible gargoyle right behind us.
Or an invisible scrying sensor.
That's what you think. No, that's not what happens. No.
I could just divine intervention wish for all of the materials to cast all of our spells. Materials to cast any spell that requires materials once for each spell of that nature.
Do you want to do it?
No, not right now.
Okay, fair enough.
Unless we really need to.
Fair enough. But eventually, with the short rest taken, eventually the inscription on the ceiling reveals itself in Draconic as "Quench thy burnt palm with ice." 5th.
Which tower is this?
This is the Tower of Evocation.
I can roll a spell for that too.
So, there we go. Written it down. So, that, I believe, is the very last of the ritual that we need. So,
We get the fourth?
I believe we did, yes.
First, second, seventh, third, sixth, fifth, fourth. Oh, there we go. So, shield thy heart with a wand from the nether oak.
Yes.
Summon a flame in the palm of your hand. A burnt palm loosens the tongue. Shed a secret for all to hear. Get someone to tell you a secret. Quench thy burnt palm with ice. Hide thyself behind a mask. And then trace a circle with the ashes of the dead. Isn't there supposed to be 8? Oh, 8. Stand firm in thy circle of death and consume poison.
Yes, I believe that is all of it then. So, I believe, to my knowledge, everything should be relatively self-explanatory. Holding a wand crafted from nether oak over your heart. Fair enough. Summon a flame in your palm. I believe... So it could be as simple as casting a spell, but I'm curious if something as simple as lighting a torch would work as well. That might be something to experiment with. Speaking a secret about yourself aloud, also pretty self-explanatory. Compare another to share a secret, fair enough. Quench the flame in ice. Now there could be a spell. Or it could be as simple as, she kind of looks around, touching the ice, for instance. There is plenty of it around.
If there's none to hand, I have a spell for it. It's going to hurt a bit.
That is true. That's fine. It's of course number 6, mask your appearance. Fair enough. That could be as simple as a disguise self spell, or covering yourself with a mask, which I believe Mr. Hawks has handy. Step 7, draw a circle on the ground using the ashes of a corpse. She kind of looks around, which of course the city is not lacking in corpses.
Wait. What was that one? Which number?
Oh, should be 7. What did you have for 7th?
Oh, okay. You said corpse, and I had dead. I didn't.
Well,
For some reason, I just
should be the same thing, relatively, honestly.
right. It is. I just didn't understand. Like I was tracking in my head, and it just kind of flew over, and I was like, "Wait, that's not what one of them was." And then I remembered. It's all right. I think I'm tired.
I believe we're all just a bit tired after that encounter. What? Look, I'm just calling it like I see it, Mr. Scales. Anyway, she kind of like adjusts her collar. The 8th step, the final step, standing inside a circle and consuming poison. So that might not... I'm curious if at the tower entrance there may be a circle to stand in, if that is as literal as it sounds.
Well, trace a circle with the ashes of the dead is 7, and then 8
of
is in the
course,
circle of death.
I see now. Now we can show that I am tired. Yes, of course. The circle that we've made using the ashes, and then consume the poison in the ashes. So,
You had that drow poison, right?
we do, yes.
Is there anything we're missing?
It doesn't say that you have to drink all of it, just says you need to consume it. Of
So
course,
I can be the one for you to get me to share a secret. If somebody wants to do all this, because I think the nether oak wand isn't going to work with me for some reason. I just have a feeling it's not going to work.
Well,
Did he give you one?
there's no harm in trying. I don't believe... No, the Nether Oak did not see the potential
Yeah,
for...
I thought you were too nice.
Yeah. Yes, she She was
Right,
deemed
even
as too nice.
Even if you do give me a wand, I don't think it would work with me.
Well, the ritual
Fair enough.
doesn't specify that it had to be given to you from the Netherrealm. You just have to
I
have
suppose
it.
that's true.
Well,
Anyway.
it's worth a try at least.
We should go to the menagerie. I'm curious about that place, and I want to see it before we leave this place.
Yeah, let's do it.
And then we can go do this silly little ritual.
But it's not. Well, okay. Nah. All right, fine. It is somewhat unorthodox, but I'm sure it's secret for a reason. It's meant to be for a select few, for those who
It
can
seems
discern
like a password, or like like when we were at the Drugar's place and they had that big chest with the numbers on it. Kind of like do these weird things and it'll open the lock or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like, you'd normally not just like go around burning your own palm. So, yeah, it's gonna be one of the pieces of the combination.
All right, so you all are at
The
currently.
menagerie and the theater. And then down to the place to do our little ritual.
Very well. I admit I am curious to see what the menagerie has to offer. Very well, let us go. And you all begin to go. Now, do you wish to take the Hawksmobile, or the Hawks plane, or do you just wish to walk?
Where's the menagerie? Oh, it's this one. Okay.
Yes. It's the giant glass dome over here. One that is cracked.
Yes. Mm-hmm. They contain the breach.
I will make myself large if we wish to fly. Or huge, or gargantuan, I guess. Yes, bigger. Bigger is better.
And big.
Big. Alright, then Villain will use one of her spell slots to cast Fly on you.
This is not how this part of the adventure was meant to go.
No, but it works. You know what? It's not how it was meant to go, but you know what? That's how the 5e goes.
I was just wondering, like, how many rolls on the random encounter table have we skipped?
Well, you'll find out in a second.
Oh
You know
dear.
what would have really helped too? Is if instead of taking True Sight, I took like Wind Walk or something like that. 600 feet per 6 seconds.
But flying on Hawks' back is so much cooler.
Windwalk is pretty cool
That
too,
is.
but
But
Yeah.
8-hour duration, 0 concentration, massive
That's true.
flight speed. That's pretty neat too.
Good point.
all right. So as you're flying, down below you see. Let me double check a little something as along with that. You will actually see a group of those Magian that you had seen before. The same group that you had actually passed by, that had seen you, and you had avoided an encounter with previously. Three of them were the robes bearing Magian, and then the other three were the heavily armored Magian. This procession currently is making their way seemingly towards around near where the obelisk is, and behind them you see one of them has, let's see with your passive perception, it would be just within range enough to see that their swords currently have blood on them. But they continue along their way, as you are too far up enough for them to register you as a threat at this point. They're continuing on their way. And as such, you make your way to the menagerie just fine. This immense dome looms under you rather than over you. the crystal, you can now see that the roofing is made of pure crystal that is marring its magnificently crafted beauty by a web of cracks. You can see through the gaps in the building's shell, and on the other side of the open entranceway, you see a strange landscape of miniaturized natural features. You see what looks to be like a carved mountaintop that is practically shrunk down, almost like to a you know how model train sets have like those miniaturized terrain you can kind of like ride the train around. It's kind of like that. It's like just miniaturized. It's like someone put someone made D&D terrain, but like fit it inside this large menagerie, essentially. You can see like a fake waterfall that is currently, an illusion is currently wafting around that is like mimicking the drifting of water. And then you see a miniaturized tropical rainforest in one section of the menagerie as well. It is quite beautiful to look at.
Couldn't they have just put a real waterfall in?
Villain just looks at you. No, not even the greatest city can escape budget cuts, I assume.
I'm not impressed. I've seen better waterfalls.
Ouch.
Well, I do follow Eldath.
Villain kind of strokes her chin at that. Touche. But the way
Mother
inside,
of the waters.
indeed, the way before you is twofold. There is an entranceway down below where you could walk inside, but there are a couple of cracks on the inside where some of you could kind of drop downward off of one of the modeled cliff tops. So, how would you like to approach?
Cowabunga it is.
All right,
I'm
Cowabunga.
a gargantuan flying kobold. I don't really know that there's many other ways of doing it than cowabunga.
Well, I mean, in particular, are you going to like just kind of go through the roof, like, or are you gonna use like the main door, like a normal person?
This is like supposed to be a zoo, right? We gotta have the tour experience.
Yeah, we're not savages.
Savage. Oh, too
If
soon.
Savage were here, we would go through the roof for him.
Fair.
Yeah, okay,
know?
yeah. Like, I hadn't realized it was a pun until I said it, but yeah, that's entirely fair.
Caleb weeping in the background.
Sorry.
But you sure? Okay. Let's see. That's why I wanted to clarify, though, just to see which way you were going in. Okay, but you go through. The doors are actually quite wide, assumingly for larger pets to make their way into the menagerie as well. So you can actually kind of squeeze barely in, Hawks. So let's see here. As you begin to walk in, there are like these little painted signs that kind of gesture in. You see a smiling figure of a wizard, like a stereotypical wizard in a pointy hat, who's giving like a thumbs up, and he's like kind of like right next to him is like a small model, like a small kind of sculpture model of what appears to be a baboon, but the baboon has these extremely razor sharp teeth and spines that kind of stick out almost like a lionfish, and the baboon has like a carved, almost creepily, a smiling face as well, also giving a thumbs up at the wizard. There's like also what appears to be a little button similar to the one that you saw for the arcane eye in the Caves of Hunger. You assume you need to touch it to activate it.
I think it's my turn this time.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, I will.
Reaches up as high as she can.
I'm quite excited to see where this will go. Professor Skett says it will say from inside Evelyn's pocket. As you press the button, the statue of the baboon will come to life, as you will hear it start to move all of its sorry, move all of its limbs. As you can see, all like where all the points where the joints connect have these glowing magical spheres that kind of move along with the joints, almost in a magnetic kind of fashion, where the joints kind of move around them in a very smooth motion, and the baboon will kind of like look at you and will kind of start moving in a direction towards the center of the menagerie. You know, it is occasionally looking back at you, as if it wants you to follow it.
Follow.
All right. So as you all begin to follow, you will see more of those little pictures, each with a different sort of wizardly-looking individual, each with a different pet. You will see one that appears to have a miniaturized owlbear next to an enclosure that has this thick kind of forest with a pool. And unfortunately, you do see several corpses inside of the pool. Some appear to be humanoid, others appear to be more, shall we say, owlbear shaped. Roll a perception check, Meepo, if you want to search for that.
I mean, I
know
Meepo
you're
doesn't
joking.
know what that is.
I know you're joking,
but-
but roll one anyway.
Actually, that was the wrong. There,
13.
13 anyway.
You see... One of the exhibits has what appears to be a small asteroid field. And you will see a wizard looking... You will see another wizardly-looking individual. One that has a small hamster sitting in his palm, but then behind the wizard is a hamster as large as a bear, and the wizard is kind of making a little anxious face. He's like kind of looking backward behind him towards the hamster, while kind of cuddling the smaller one in his palms. Currently, though, you do not see any hamsters, large or small, in this exhibit, but there is an exhibit there, and there is a little bit of text on a plaque.
Or like blow the dust off of the plaque.
Alright. You will begin to see like a little bit of text in Draconic that will kind of begin to read out, and here is an exhibit for the humble space hamster, which we believe begins its stage of life in a very small form, but will begin to grow larger as its life extends. So far, little evidence has been found to prove such things, but, well, we hope we will figure it out someday. Perhaps one day, when we have found a way to travel into the deepest reaches of the stars, the astral sea, perhaps we will discover the truth for ourselves. But that will be one day long gone, when Eriolathus perfects the Mythora. And that is what it reads.
Do we know what that last thing was?
Villain certainly does. I know what that is. The Mythora is what texts have said. According to some of the texts, the flying cities of the Netherese Empire were controlled by these Mythora. They're the power source that allows the cities to fly. Assuming, of course... Well... My assumption is that the Mythala was destroyed when the city crashed, but we won't know for certain until we get to the center of the city or reach that direction. We'll have to find out for ourselves. But if it's still active, she'll just kind of like stroke her chin. It will be one of the greatest finds in recent memory. Meanwhile, the baboon waits for a while as you all are kind of looking at this exhibit, and then just starts waddling towards the next one. And at that point, you will see another exhibit. One that appears to have a... you see one that looks to be a cat, but it has a pair of antennae, like dangling out from the nape of its neck backward. These antennae almost look moth-like. And it gives the cat, it kind of trails along almost like the length of the tail, almost giving it like a regal sort of look to it. The cat in particular looks to be I'd say maybe like two or so feet tall. Essentially, it's quite large for I would be considered a small creature. But the cat has several other cats alongside it, all having a similar regal bearing to it, and the exhibit itself has what appears to be sort of this almost what looks to be like a noble's interior. Like it's very very much a less natural exhibit, if that makes sense. It just has less of the natural, more of the man-made chairs, very fancy looking beds, food dispensers, all manner of luxury for these particular pets. But the tour, it's much of the same as the baboon kind of shows you along, until it reaches the very center of the exhibit, in which you see a grand machine. And there you see a plaque, along with another wizard image, giving a thumbs up. And it reads out in Draconic, the Chimeric Creator. The device itself is around a 10-foot diameter, with an iron wheel on its side. It's held above the ground by looks to be a metal brace, with eight barrel-sized egg-shaped open containers attached to the outer end of its spokes. The apparatus seems to have a bronze control panel with a lever next to it.
Ganak, I think this is your forte.
Oh, levers.
Pulls
Indeed.
it.
You can go ahead and
What?
make an Arcana check if you wish.
I would like to, yes.
I'm going to use Emboldening Bond.
Ooh.
Okay, 22. And with the emboldening bond, 3, 25.
25.
Okay. You spend at least a minute kind of examining the device, and you inspect a little bit of its innards as well. You can kind of open it up, take a peek at what's inside, and you kind of like look at the runes and the enchantments. As you're inspecting it, you begin to see the inner workings of it. There are several needles that are kind of like that are on the inside, like near where the lever is, near the control panel, where blood needs to be dispensed. And you'd think there needs to be a large amount of blood in order for this to work. Out of game, you would need 80 hit points of blood to be distributed evenly between its 8 containers. But then once the blood is properly deposited, pulling a lever causes the wheel to spin. The blood would disappear about, maybe you think like a minute later, you think. But then once that wheel stops, a creature will crawl out of one of the containers. It'll be completely random, though. It can only be used once every 8 hours. There's a little gauge that'll show you that.
Interesting. So they crawl into the containers. Is there like a pen they crawl into, or are they just released into the wild?
It seems like it's just released into the wild. However, you gather there's a little bit of enchantment magic on the egg, so we assume that whoever it's intended to, like whoever pulls the lever, it will be enchanted, it'll be imprinted upon whoever pulls the lever, essentially.
See,
Not who sheds the blood.
Not who sheds the blood, interestingly enough. So it doesn't matter whose blood it is, as long as whoever pulls it, as long as whoever the intended recipient pulls the lever. So blood can come from anywhere.
Oh God.
It's a. I never thought of that. I never thought of that. It is like a gotcha.
It literally is a gotcha.
Oh my. Chris Perkins, I need a word.
He probably is laughing wherever he is.
That's. I think Chris Perkins did work on this, but Perkins, I have words with you. I need words with you.
Words for you.
Yeah,
Canuck knows.
Scales is like. Yeah, Scales like, what's a gotcha? Oh gosh. Okay, but that is what you have gathered, Skinnock, from your investigations.
So, I have a proposal.
Yes.
We could donate some blood. Each of us donating some, or somebody donating the vast majority, and then I could just heal us up, and we can take a long rest here.
I've probably got enough blood. I mean, I'm pretty big.
I think I do too. I just want to make sure we don't have any surprise.
You could each put in like 15 or 20, I guess, and not be in too rough a shape.
And don't forget your NPCs to help as well.
Oh, true.
Well, here's the thing. I have one spell that could just nearly fix it immediately,
Ah,
and then we could like rest and not get that back.
is there any information on how long the charm or the enchantment would last?
Let me double check that. Let's see.
'Cause I don't want to, if we do this and then we long rest and it's like, yes, this enchantment expires in 8 hours, that would feel sad.
No, it seems like the enchantment itself seems to be permanent.
I'm game.
Yeah. Now you gather the creature created by this will not be very. It won't be necessarily a combat. It's meant to be like a pet. Like familiar-esque.
Mm-hmm. So it's also a Tamagotchi.
A Tamagotchi gotcha.
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi.
That's what they would call it in Japanese, probably a Tamagotchi.
Oh gosh. So that is a good question. So are you going to each give a little bit of blood of the 80?
I'm gonna
Why
give
not?
70 hit points of blood.
No, wait, no.
No, if I do that, then I can just use heal, and then it's.
That is true.
I
Wait,
could
how
give the whole 80.
I could do the whole 82, but I figured better.
How many hit points do you have, Meepo?
I'll do 40, you do 40.
I think like the point is to use heal, that gives 70 hit points.
To one creature, yeah. To be fair, one of you could just jump the gun and just like if I imagine both of you are like both like saying like, no, I'll do it, and then like you just like go at the same time and like.
Well, if I do it and you use heal on me, I can then second win and get the last 10, and it'll
All
be
right,
like.
let's do
yep.
that.
Okay, so I'll take 80 damage.
Do you want the pet then, or who's gonna get the pet?
Uh,
And then Scales is like, no, I've got it.
oh, is he gonna turn into a? Oh.
Skills just kill himself.
No, I'm not doing it.
Oh, I see what he's saying. He's got 78 hit points. I got it, and it just goes to 0. Yeah. Just dead.
Just tombstone myself.
Tombstone.
There's a part of me that wants to imagine that this could end up being something just like Driss Do'Urden's Loyal Panther.
Villain just like gives like the biggest eye roll.
But I think at my size, I wouldn't be very good at handling an animal that was not also of very large size. So maybe something to defend you, Meepo.
I don't know if they'd be able to defend. They seem like they're more like pets.
Someone to chill out with you.
Yeah, that's not to say they couldn't have combat capabilities, but they're you gather like in terms of like survivability, or like be around familiar-ish health usually.
Well, I wish we could find out what we're gonna get and then decide who pulls the lever. That'd make it easier deciding.
Well,
But I'll pull the lever.
okay, so I have given my health
All right.
just
I
a
will.
little cut on my hand here, and oh man!
Yeah, you watch as you cut your hand, and you put your hand towards the device, and it just starts sucking out like a vacuum, just like. And then immediately, you feel like you're dried out like a raisin, and then you get healed, and you're like, ugh, you suddenly feel like rehydrated. So, Meepo, you said you were going to pull the lever?
Yep, I'm pulling the lever.
Okay, so
Canuck.
so since you're pulling the lever, roll a d6 for me.
A d6. What if like 2 people pulled the lever?
Well, it can only like do one, and then it needs 8 hours to recharge after each one.
Well, I mean, like, if 2 people had their hands on the lever and pulled together.
Well, that's a good question. Are you attempting that?
Anybody want to try it with me? I guess I'll put my.
Well, I mean, I will not. If anyone wants to again.
Well, I'll just go ahead. I'll pull the lever.
Okay, you pull the lever. The wheel begins to turn. Starts going extremely fast. And then
I
eventually...
hope it turns rainbow colored so I know I got something super, super rare.
You know what? Hang on. Just hang on. I'm just gonna make a roll of myself here. I'm gonna look at a particular spell. Hang on.
Oh, prismatic wall or something.
Let's see here. All right, so you see there is actually a color that begins to take effect. It begins to take on a yellowish color as the wheels suddenly begin to spin at a rapid pace, and then slowly. And a fine mist will spray out of the container that is now most adjacent to the ground. And there's a little bit of smoke that comes out, and you hear a little as a tiny little rat will jump out of the egg. But this rat has these iridescent rainbowish scales outlining its entire body. And it has gills, and it has these little fishy fins that are kind of like all along its back, and its whiskers are like barbed like a catfish. And its tail has a little fin on it too. Me, 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 me. It's a ratfish.
Do we kill it? Do we eat it?
I mean, I'm not going to attack it, but I'm ready.
It runs.
I think it's.
Yeah, it runs up to you, Meepo.
Something fishy about that rat.
It starts snuggling you.
Probably that it's like actually part fish.
Yeah, that's probably it.
It tries to jump onto your back, Meepo. It tries to do what a cat does, and it tries to jump up your legs and starts climbing up on you.
I'm petting it, kind of letting it cuddle my finger.
Alright, it nibbles a little bit, but not enough to draw blood, and it's just kind of nuzzling into your hand as you're petting it. It seems very affectionate. Yeah, and the trend continues of being beast tamers. You just see Muerte staring at it. I wonder what it tastes like. Does it taste like rat, fish, or both? The beak opens slightly but closes.
I'm just giving Muerte like a blank stare.
Are you going to eat it or not?
I'm not gonna eat it.
You gonna give it a name?
I'm thinking about that. Rat fish.
Rat. Rat boy.
No, I don't think that one works. There's something about it that just doesn't sit right with me.
Villain will kind of think about it for a minute. Maybe you could make it like a fun portmanteau of something, like two different kinds of rodent, like a kind of rodent and a kind of fish. Just smash it together.
Beavers are fish, aren't they?
No.
I was sure they were.
Beavers aren't. Why would you think beavers are fish?
I don't know.
She just blinks at you. You could call it beaver though. Beaver's not a bad name.
I think something like Trickle.
Trickle. Not a bad name.
Because it's like tickle and well, trickle.
I get it, like a bit of water, more going into
Right.
your deity. Yeah, I get it. It's clever. What do you all think? I think it's quite clever. Clever and adorable.
To me, as long as it doesn't try to bite my toes off and it's in my sleep.
I'll keep it away from your toes.
It blinks in your direction, Skanuk.
I'm gonna just do the eyes watching thing with the hand that's not holding the ship.
Do we have like
Make
some sort of a bowl or something?
make
Or is there water nearby?
Make an insight check, Skanuk, if you wish. 11. Man, certainly an animal.
Does this look like the face of Mercy?
Oh cow. You see the rat staring back at you. And then, out of the corner of your eye, you think you see the rat point its two little fingers at you as well. But only Skanuk sees this.
My nemesis.
What were you asking though? I'm sorry.
Are there stats for a ratfish?
There are no stats for a ratfish, so consider this just a rat that has the ability to basically has the amphibious trait.
Okay.
And maybe secretly has a higher intelligence than a regular rat.
Fair enough.
Rats, we are the rats. And what?
Having ourselves another perfect
No.
batch.
Rat's nim.
So I have 12 hit points at this point. Oh, you used heal.
Yep.
Boom. Shazam.
72 or 82.
And then I can second wind, which will automatically put me at full. There we go.
Excellent. Yeah, the meme. Yeah, we're all used to the meme days of Meepo having like way too
Right.
few hit points.
Meepo took
Back
her
before we
vitamins.
A god.
You completely redid your health.
It was earned. It was earned because remember it was we.
Here's the
done
thing.
incorrectly. Yeah.
We got through her with my old hit point score, so the fact that we did it afterwards makes it even better. Because I would have been like, all right, that entire time.
The
But
meeple of now would just not have gone down that fight.
right, but it was so much more entertaining the way it
Mhm.
worked out. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with
Yep.
everything.
You're just playing hard mode.
I was playing hard mode on accident. Anyway, do we want to go to the theater next and then finish up here? Get rid of a cult. Loot the large, spooky castle in the middle of the city that we've been ignoring up till now.
To the bedrock. That is my mission statement here.
Right. So theater and then the big spooky castle.
Yep.
Very well. So, you leave the menagerie with your adorable little new friend Trickle in tow. You know, their occasional little meep, 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 the little meeps, occasionally squeaking out. You said you were looking for just gonna keep them in their pocket, or do you have like a different idea of where they would go?
I'd probably just have it like right on my shoulder until further notice, but I'd like look for like a bowl or something that I can carry around.
Yeah, I would say most of the you assume at this one point this was in fact a menagerie. There was probably at one point a lot of those materials. Many of them were smashed. I'd say go ahead and make a perception check.
I suppose they might have fish bowls here.
19. You actually see beneath a lot of the rubble, you will actually find one fishbowl that is perfectly intact. Maybe with a slight crack in it, but it's not enough for it to take the structural integrity, make it. It's not enough to make it bad.
You wanna mend this, Gnat?
As long as it contains the beast.
Right? Trickle will look
As
in your
we're
direction.
flying off.
Me. And squints its eyes at you, Skinnock.
You can't tell because the goggles squints him back.
The eyes of Trickle squint harder. But
We walk to the theater.
yes, and you make your way to the theater indeed. And of course you are able to mend the crack, and Trickle will dive into the bowl, and they actually are a little bit they're a little bit slick. They kind of slide around the bottom of the bowl, kind of like an ice rink, and just kind of slinking and kind of like scuffling around until they eventually kind of settle down and start kind of sleeping, taking a little nap. You make your way down to the theater. So, the roof of this dome building that you can see is wrecked and open to the elements. Eventually, you come down. The hole in the ceiling is quite wide enough that hawks can just fly right down in. Inside, you see a theater with a large stage and seating for what you assume would be more than 100 people. You can also see a little bit of a backstage area as well. It has had a little bit of the balcony crashed into it, which icicles are hanging from those said sagging balconies, with rime-frosted masks leering and grinning from its fractured walls. You will see very clearly that there is a wooden writing desk that is underneath part of the rubble in the backstage room that is wrapped in chains and padlocked. But other than that, the rest of the stage is empty and strangely quiet. A little bit of a chill wind kind of breaks the silence, even though you are underground, there should not be any wind to begin with.
I assume everybody's just kind of staring at this thing that's padlocked and nervously wondering why.
Yep, same.
Yeah.
So are
The good
we
old side eye.
going to unlock this thing, or are we just going to? I mean, to be fair, the architecture is quite nice here. Well, if it wasn't damaged, I suppose.
Honestly, I'm kind of curious.
Yep.
I could smash the lock. I have my axe. Let's get it
Gales, you
smashed
got
try to-
anything that can just open it?
What?
You got something that can just open these locks?
I mean, I doubt I could just animate them and have them open themselves.
Yeah, probably not. What were you saying, Skanek?
I could try to pick it. Is it? Just if it's in decent condition.
It's in decent enough condition that you could attempt to pick it. So go ahead and make a lock-picking check.
Give that a quick check, I guess. Thieves' tools, sleight of hand. Actually, let me check something.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Gales is giving you bardic inspiration.
Ooh. Just keep that in my pocket, I think.
So,
Within the next 10 minutes, so...
Yeah.
with a 25, as you start very calmly and cautiously start picking this lock, eventually, at a little bit of time, you'll hear a ka-ching, and the lock will open. But as it does, you hear an ethereal voice behind you. Darling, what do you think you're doing? And you will see behind you a very flamboyant individual. But they are completely spectral. This is clearly a spirit of some long lost individual. But they clearly are wearing some form of theater garb. They have... It looks as if they're dressed pretty much as if to resemble a strutting peacock. They're wearing very, very much a nobleman's clothes, dotted with all manner of blues and very much an outwardly appearance of just all manner of what's the word for it? Ostentatious.
Ostentatious?
Yes, exactly. Ostentatiousness. With even peacock and other bird-like feathers dotted amongst his outfit. Are you trying to steal my play? As you look inside, you will see a leather-bound folder in the desk drawer.
Actually, we're here to share it with the world, because otherwise nobody will see it. And your name will die in obscurity.
Nonsense! The great Edgardio will never die in obscurity!
Who?
The great Edgardio!
Never heard of you.
Sounds pretty obscure to me.
You will see us the spectral form begin choking and as if choking back either
Imagine,
tears, rage, hard to tell.
Imagine though, if your greatest work were to hit it big, now your name would become famous worldwide again.
Not recovering from the previous bit of outrage, he will say, "Silence! I will only accept such things if you can prove truly master the depth of my creation.
Glances over at Scales.
The truth is, though, I'm a fraud. All you need to do is take a look. He'll just kind of like he'll just like turn away, covering his eyes with his arms. Folder is there if you wish to pick it up and take a look.
Yeah,
Good
now I
luck,
kind of have to know.
Curiosity, our greatest weakness.
Yeah, he said you have to prove yourself, and I just kind of glanced over at Scales like, if anybody's gonna do it, it's him.
Alright, as you take a look at the
I'm going to use Emboldening Bond before we get into anything further.
Fair enough. As you take a look at the leather-bound folder, it appears there are, in fact, 5 different scripts for a play called A Blasphemy of Kings. Now you kind of like you're looking at like the first few pages of each kind of individual script. Each one appears to tell the story of 5 siblings, each expecting to claim the throne of their late father. As the protagonists try to prove their worth, it seems like there's supposed to be some sort of revelation, but you will see the source of his dismay in that all of them are unfinished. I was due to perform the play before Areolithus himself, but I got the most terrible writer's block, and I couldn't write it out before the final day. And then, as if to ruin me further, the great city of Yithrin fell from the sky, both saving my embarrassment and then ruining me from ever completing my life's work. Oh, the agony! So, Edgardio has a request of you. Finish my play, improvise, put on a show, prove to me you understand my work, and then I will agree to let you show it to the world. And then I might as well give you a little bit of a boon as well. But let's not worry about that right now. What about the here and now? And act.
Do you have any roles in here for a really big guy?
Yes! You can play. Let me look here. Let's see. The martyr, the traitor, the bewitched, the haunted, the fool. Are you good at slapstick?
I mean, I could slap someone with a stick.
Then the fool, the script is yours.
I feel like I'm being insulted here, but I can't quite tell how.
Comedy is a sacred institution, my friend. You should never be ashamed.
I think he's kind of like picking up on something with that curse you had.
Never.
Alright, well, fair enough. I guess I'll give it a go.
And then that leaves 4 more scripts. The martyr script, the traitor script, the bewitched script, and the haunted script.
The martyr sounds something like maybe one I could do.
Indeed. As you kind of like look at the cover of the Fool, you see what looks to be a human individual performing what appears to be a handstand, and the one with the martyr appears to have a noose around their neck on the front of the script, Meepo.
I've done that before. Not in that way, but I've died.
Tragic. So, who has yet to realize the true potential of the traitor? the bewitched, or the haunted. You see, just
I vote that
Valen
way.
just like
No.
looks over there, and she's like, "No."
Haunted?
Oh, that's a good point. As long as we don't give her the traitor script, I think I'd be comfortable with it.
What are they about?
So, from what you can tell, let's see. From the traitor script, it seems as if one particular brother was slated to betray one of their siblings at one point, but what the betrayal entailed was never realized. As for the bewitched, it seems like the bewitched brother was one who was tantalized by a fey spirit and sort of set aside, kind of like forsook the kind of like the path to become king at first, but then was sort of set to become king in the sense that in order to have the Fae installed as an advisor, so the Fae could spread their influence. Then the haunted in particular, a shadowy fiend plagued the character in this script, causing them their dreams to be haunted.
Well, I suppose I do have some experience with haunted dreams.
Alright, so Hawks has the full script, Meepo has the martyr script, and then Skinnuk will have the haunted script, which just leaves the traitor and the bewitched. Morte will kind of shuffle their eyes from side to side. So, perhaps Morte could have the traitor script.
I think you'd be pretty good in that one. I expect the ending to be pretty bloody.
Yes. Morte has ideas.
Please don't use them in real life.
I don't
Only
know.
for the play.
Let's not rule this out entirely.
Well, I'm in on the traitor side of it.
Understood. Or Mr. Scales, do you wish to have the bewitched script? Or is the traitor script more keen to your sensibilities?
You can also have haunted if you want it.
I'm pretty well apt in playing just about any role that I really need to. I'm flexible.
It's so admirable to have people of your talents. Oh, I can sense your potential, young one. And the hands of the individual just kind of hover around you, wiggling Scales. You're just oozing with talent.
That might be the slide. That might be the Gelatinous cubes we fought, actually.
Oozing with talent.
Alright, let's get this started. What order do they go in?
In truth, I never quite figured out the right order. I could never. I could never finish anything I started. I always. I had several ideas, but could never fully realize each one.
Right.
I was never the main writer. I was always just the understudy or the backup.
I think we ought to end with the Fool, because that sounds like it'll be a happier ending than the rest.
So, I will ask, which one of you wants to go first in trying to make a performance check?
With Goldening Bond. And Skinnuk has Bardic Inspiration.
Yeah,
So
that's true. I guess I should go first. Yeah.
Because he had his Bardic Inspiration a little bit before my
Hopefully.
Goldening Bond. Yeah.
Okay, here's a question. How long is this about going to take, probably? Do we have an idea
You
how long this
assume,
play is?
yeah, assume maybe an hour, hour and a half.
Oh,
Okay,
so
I'm gonna hold on to this for my own checks then. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Scanuck
As
will
we're
get Emboldening Bond and Bardic Inspiration, but nobody else will get Emboldening Bond.
yeah, that's fair. I probably have the lowest performance of us all, so that's good. As a note about Flash of Genius, did we get a long rest or did we decide not to do that?
When?
After the menagerie.
That was a short rest.
That's a short rest.
Ah, okay.
It's a little bit
In
too
that
early
case, I
for a
have
long
two.
rest.
Fair enough. Fair enough. In that case, I have 2 flashes. So yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so performance check you want?
A performance check, if you would please.
Oh dear. Okay. Alright. Emboldening Bond and a D8. Come on. No whammies. Some whammies. Some level of whammy.
Is there a way to
You're like, is this
How?
going to be like a crit fail situation or? Yes,
Well-
it is.
There's all whammies. Is there a way to give him advantage to fix this in any way?
Well, I will say, because it is
I'm
meant to
looking
be
for,
a
like,
play,
abilities.
if it's meant to be a play, so there's meant to be supporting actors.
Okay.
I will say, okay, you know what? Here's what I'll do. You have, in particular, the haunted script, Scanuck. So your character is currently going through a terrible dream. Currently, I will say one of the brothers can come in at this point. So anyone who has any other scripts can jump in, as the haunted brother is currently awaking from his terrible dream. How would you like to perform? And who?
Oh, brother, my dear brother, are you all right? Have you? Oh, and Hawks will trip and fall on him.
Cool.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm so sorry, brother. And you've just awakened from such a terrible state as well. Oh,
Honestly, thank you. That was a terrible, terrible dream.
Very well. All right. So with that, I will allow you
It's
to
ill
gain
fortune.
advantage on this roll. So go ahead and roll again.
So it's plus the 3 from our 2 helps. Only advantage let you reroll all your dice, not just a...
+3 is still better than nothing.
Yeah.
Nice.
19. Okay. You will
Give us
see.
the ham.
You will see Edgardo go like. You'll see him start biting his ethereal nails like. But then it's like the interaction between Hawks and Skinnock come together. He's like, "Oh, brilliant! I never even thought of that." And he begins like writing something down in invisible hand. And you will see the script begins to change along with it as that has now been added to the play. So, that was the haunted script. So because the fool helped with this performance, I will say the fool can go ahead and make their next performance check in this case. So go ahead and roll a performance check for me, Hawks.
Alright, off stage, I'm going to activate my storm room so I can potentially give myself advantage on the check. I'm going to give myself advantage on the check because I have a +0.
Fair enough. All right. Another 19. So yes, in this case, as all the brothers are kind of convening in one moment, as your character Hawks, you begin to improvise the fool. As the brothers are having an intense meeting about who will possibly take the place of their king, their father, as he has now died, you just come on in and you crack a heck of a joke. And you will hear in the theater just this uproarious laughter. The spectral laughter just fills the entirety of the empty space. And Edgardo just goes like, oh, genius.
Well, one of us needs to stand up and oof! Oh, I hit my head on the chandelier.
Oh, he's so big. He's so clumsy. Oh, you just hear that laughter and the voices just all throughout the theater. So, you have passed your performance roll as well with that. So that's 2 successes. Next up, let us have the Bewitched script. Scales, if you so please. Roll a performance check for me. And if you'd like to improvise something to roleplay as part of the scene, you may go ahead and do so.
I'll go ahead and make a illusory.
An illusory what? Major.
An illusory fey creature, fey-like, that always just kind of stays out of reach of me.
Based on the dryad outside of the.
Yeah.
All right. With this convincing illusion, I will allow you to roll this performance with advantage. Okay, 22. As you begin your performance scales, you will see the spectral form of Edgardo. He will just have these spectral tears just trailing down his cheek. It's inspired! I love it! You see, he goes to clap. He's like, no, it's not the end just yet. A crescendo.
Muerte,
Soon.
you're up next.
Actually, no, yes, it will be the traitor script next. As Muerte comes forth, I have come to betray you, all of you. I will have my rightful place as king. Have at thee. And just starts like fake chopping everywhere. Under her breath, you will hear, "I'm sorry, I panicked. I actually don't. I'm not good at acting."
It's okay, you're having time. Flash of Venus.
And yet, despite that, you will see Edgardo go, "The rage. It's so real. I can feel the anger directed towards me. It's as if my very life is in danger and I'm already dead."
Just as the traitor's scene comes to like its highest peak of rage and emotion, I'm going to leap into the area and like take a blow, like fake Pratt hit by one of the beak strikes, and say, "You can betray me all you want, just work together with my brothers for peace, for the kingdom."
And so, with that, I will allow you to roll this with advantage. An 18. Bravo! Bravo! It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I never thought someone could fix my mediocrity so spectacularly. Bravo! And as he starts clapping, you will hear an uproarious applause all throughout the theater. And with that, the spirit of Edgario will begin to soar towards the heavens. I'm leaving, but please spread your play far and wide. You've earned the right. And as well, yeah, and he'll just kind of snap his fingers, and I'm going to, let's see here.
I assume you got that all down, right, Scant?
Got what down?
The play.
I regret to inform you, Meepo. My intelligence lies in the academic, not the,
Well, you can
performance
use plays
parts.
for academics.
No.
I mean, like the script of the play.
Oh, for historical purposes, yes. Writing it down, I didn't realize that was my job.
I just thought you might want it for historical purposes, because it's part of the culture.
Unaltered, yes.
Well, you've got the original script and the additives. You can compare them.
That is true. I could do so. But I'll take a look at it. Yes, so I'll take care of that. While that's happening, though, we will all kind of begin to feel a little bit lighter, a little bit more jovial. You feel this energy kind of lifting through you, and I'm going to give you a charm, actually. A charm for the DMG, which, for some reason, is not on my person at the moment. I think I left it downstairs. So what I'm going to do...
Does Valin have prestidigitation?
She actually does not.
Does she have thaumaturgy?
Nope. Thaumaturgy I don't actually think is a wizard spell.
Well, she might have it anyway, because, you know, they could have just given it to her for one reason or another.
Indeed.
Magic initiate, who knows?
So, what you have here, you are given a charm of restoration. You can use an action to expend some of its charges to cast one of the following spells. Greater Restoration, 4 charges, or Lesser Restoration, 2 charges. Once all of the charges of this charm have been expended, the charm vanishes from you. So, this is essentially a group charm, so anyone can make use of this. So I'm going to put this out in the chat right here. In addition, you all have inspiration.
Ooh.
That's the advantage, right?
That's the one I believe you can... yeah, you can get years of advantage, yes.
Or an ally.
Indeed, or an ally. Which we just learned recently.
Yeah.
With that, though, the spirit of Edgardo and whatever presence had lasted, whichever presence was in the theater, drifts away, and you are all now by yourselves, silent, in the theater.
Wow, Scales, you're really good.
Yeah.
You tend to talk to yourself a lot when there's a lot of Yetis that don't like to talk to you.
I just like...
And then when your family tears itself apart and you end up hiding in a hut for a couple of years alone. Yeah, you gotta make do with what you got.
You'll see Valen kind of nod her head. Understandable. Life can be difficult sometimes. Makes you stronger, though. How strong, Scales? I'd say you're tough as nails. And she kind of gives you like a playful kind of push on the shoulder.
Funny enough, Nails was my younger sister.
Ooh. She kind of like awkwardly kind of rubs her shoulder.
Well, she did claim matriarchy, so
Ah, my assumption was that she was eaten. Okay, she survived then. Good.
I think the implication is that she's a Yeti.
But, right. 50 eyes. You all are such a treasure. I swear, I learned so many fun new things when I'm around all of you. Not the least of which is learning that old playwrights live after death until their greatest works are completed, then just gift their final works. It's strange. We live in such a strange world, and every day I learn something new. It just makes me treasure it more. No, the true treasure along the way, Scales, is not in fact friendship, even though that is a plus. The true treasure is the treasure that we find. Anything else is bullshit.
Skinnock is nodding in the background.
Yep. The true treasure is this gun I found.
My treasure is particularly spells, spell books, magical items along those lines. That's my treasure.
I treasure peace. Honestly. So friendship, that goes right along with it.
That's true.
And I mean, Scales spent years in a hut by himself, so I'm pretty sure friendship's welcomed by him.
True. And to be honest, I was going a little bit crazy before I met you guys. Just a little
Well,
bit.
I think everybody was.
But now we're all perfectly sane.
Then just kind of snaps her fingers and points in your direction. And then she kind of like looks around, looks at herself. Then looks back at you, Skinnock. Thinks really hard about it. Meanwhile, the Trickle is looking at you, Skinnock, squinting again.
Yep, perfectly sane.
It folds its clawed little fingers onto its own. It kind of steeples its clawed fingers and then leans back in the bowl. Deception self? What? Wait a minute.
You can do some fun memes by typing in custom skills.
There are custom skills where?
In like tool proficiencies, you can add your own.
Oh, tool proficiencies. Ah, got it.
Self-deception. I'll have to remember that one. Oh gosh. So, with the Charm of Restoration and the Inspiration at your beck and call, where do you wish to go from here? So, you did see that there was a possible entrance to the spire, most likely from this tunnel that was connected from the base of the main part of the city towards this part of the tower. There's also a possibility of going towards the base of the tower as well, you assume. So it's most likely either this area right here or the central area around here might be good places to go.
What time do we reckon it is?
I'd say you'd reckon it is currently... make a survival check, everyone.
My biggest question is whether it's close enough to get a
Close enough to get a long rest. Man, you really won that long rest. Natural 20. It is around 5 hours, assumedly, to take a long rest.
So 5 hours from now.
5 hours from now.
Do we want to just walk across the city?
We'll do that.
Take the scenic route?
Yeah, there are some places that you had seen kind of flying around Hux that you have not visited yet. Should you
Oh,
wish
really?
to? Yes, indeed. Now, to be fair, you had been pretty focused before in trying to sort of gun it, like make sure you were ahead of the curve in terms of finding the ritual. There were some notable places that you had seen. So the places that you have not been to yet. Let me see here. Let me double check. There are some ones that stand out in particular. The main one, let's see. The main one being I'll see. Here it'll be this one over here. The one building I mentioned before that looked like almost like a spout of a bagpipe, almost the one down here. That one. There's also this sort of domed sort of structure that is seemingly on stilts. I'm circling right over here. I said that I'm circling right over here. That building right there. In addition, actually somewhat close towards the, you assume in like one of the support structures, the spire entrance, not that one actually. That one, this one over here, I believe, was the library that you actually have been to before.
Oh, okay. Well then.
Yeah, the one that you haven't been to is this is actually quite easy to overlook because of the quality of the map. This particular map from the book. This it almost looks to be like a prison-like building. This one right down here.
Oh yeah.
There also was an area over here that appeared to just be a massive hole just in the ground of the city. Just a massive hole that is surrounded by benches and dim lighting. Yeah, right there.
Yes.
Edson, you've already been to that place. You've
Yes.
been...
The whole.
Yeah, there's a couple of different places I'm thinking of that you might not have seen yet. I think so. Actually, there is one relatively close by. Right there, actually. It looks to have all different manner. It almost looks similar to the Bazaar of the Bazaar, but it is covered with all different manner of silken banners, and very very colorful sort of imagery that is almost spider-like in its image, surrounding this particular building that's closest to you. Let me see if I'm missing anything else. But those are the ones that are the most prominent. As for that, you've already been there. You've been there, have not been there. I've already mentioned that one. Yes. That's not part of that. Yes, okay, I believe those are the only places, the only major looking places that you see that you have not visited in the city. The ones that I've marked but they're not check marked.
Oh, okay, fine. Just what?
I was gonna say, this is like when you have like a scheduled tour, but there's like the free time and you can choose out like 1 or 2 extra places to go.
Yeah. Well,
Sounded like Skanuk was interested in the big hole.
this is. Where's the hole?
The big hole is
Where?
actually quite close to the Tower of Divination over here.
Oh. The hole.
Big hole.
And what's nearby? What is this place here?
That place, it looks to be, it's very heavily covered in silken banners, and imagery of spiders. Actually, now that you're looking at it, you swear that you saw a mention of a similar looking place in one of the bits of lore that you had uncovered about the city. A place where the mages of the city got their highest bits of fashion. You assume it might be from that place.
See. Well, let's go there on the way then. See two places. See the whole, see the
Whole
silk
shebang.
place.
Very well. In that case, as you head towards this particular building, you will notice that, very much like the Tower of Divination, there are, in fact, several more of those corpses outside that are seen to be frozen, that have those cultish-looking robes and those swords, those necklaces of Chartrelan swords around their necks. There are also leftover bodies of what appear to be Magian that appear to be no longer have the Magian as they are dead, and there is only the Magian armor left behind.
See,
Indeed. As you go inside, you see more of those bodies. Yeah, but the silken sort of drapes hang from the walls. You get a better look at them as you're getting closer. The surfaces of the banners are swirling with these illusory images of dragon's fire and twinkling star fields. As you head inside,
very pretty.
yeah, you head inside, and you see more of that magical silk from the banners. Almost begins to weave away from them, now resembling more of a spider web, and just dripping with this twinkling sort of almost sweat, almost that's kind of like just dripping from the silk, and is just glistening, like a glistening web all throughout the ceiling of this store. Go ahead and roll a perception check as you're going in there as well.
Hear the words web, and I am concerned. Concerned, I'll tell you.
Do you still have that wand?
Yes. Actually, I have that tuned. I think I might have given that to someone else. It's not currently. I'm not currently attuned to it, so I think I gave it to someone else.
Which item
Oh
is
wait,
this?
this is Wand of Web.
The one.
You might have given it away, I think. Not sure who you would have gotten it. But with a 13, though, I will say you do see part of the web move slightly. And you look in its direction, you see, appearing out of thin air, a spider of brilliant white and blue coloration, with these brilliant blue eyes. It looks in your direction, and it doesn't react immediately. It just sort of goes about its business. You see 3 more of these spiders, very much like horse-sized spiders. Like this, the interior of this building is actually quite large, and they seem to be weaving and moving about the rafters, blinking in and out of the material realm, like with this smoke-like fog, as it just kind of like appears and disappears. All 4 of them, but they appear to be leaving you alone. Even though they know of your presence.
Oh.
Indeed. You will see, get a better look at the interior of the room. In the center, you will see crystal mannequins draped in finery, encircling an empty pedestal in the center.
Huh.
Yeah. The spiders occasionally look in your direction, then they look towards the center, then back to you.
It's empty?
There's an empty pedestal in the center of the room, which is surrounded by crystal mannequins. Some of them are draped in finery. Some of them are naked.
Are any
I
signs of life?
The only signs of life currently are those 4 spiders. Any sort of life that was here, like those cultists, have vanished.
See.
I see we're inventing new skills as we speak. 19 on pizzazz. Well, you get the sense with your innate pizzazz. That you figure a cool dude like you should go to the center pedestal and stand on it. That seems to be the coolest thing to do.
You're right. Hux will go do that.
All right. You are very big, so I assume you shrink yourself down a little bit. Am I right? in
Do
this
I,
assumption?
though? Or maybe I just place a single foot upon the pedestal, stand, and like the...
Fair enough. The room itself is big enough to accept your presence. So you kind of like hunker down a bit over, and you put a single foot on the pedestal, and you will see a flickering illusion will appear in front of you. A magnificently dressed human flickers before you. They have a completely bald head, but they are covered in all manner of tattoos, and they are dressed almost as fabulously as Edgardio. But whereas Edgardio is like more like a peacock, this individual is more like, I would describe more akin to as like a phoenix. Brilliant reds, blues, violets, and purples, and very much a very fiery mane of red sort of facial hair that kind of like drapes downward a little bit. Ah, welcome. I am Silksmith Mixil. He seems to speak in common. I welcome you. Yes, go
That's
ahead.
kind of uncommon here.
Indeed, I am set to speak the language of whoever steps upon the pedestal. Welcome to the Emporium.
Oh, do you speak giant, then?
Of course. Malog, Terig, Solturg. He says, hello, how are you?
Ah! Splendid. Okay, but back to common so everyone can understand.
Yes, of course. But I assume you're here, and judging by your stature, here to get something that can actually fit you. I assume a gentleman of your size has difficulty in finding something that can suit you.
Actually, I didn't. All my clothes grew with me.
Fascinating, but perhaps you'd like to expand your wardrobe.
Yeah, sure.
Excellent. Well, let me describe the process for you. My beauties. The illusion will make the motion of clapping its hands, but no sound comes from it. Instead, you'll see as it claps, a bell begins to ring in the upper bits of the rafters, and the phase spiders will all at once begin to kind of click at each other and begin to scamper down and start like kind of like crawling towards you, Hawks. Now, don't be frightened. They're just going to do their thing. We just need to take measurements. We need to make sure everything is in order. What is your favorite color?
Well, I would say green, but it might not go well with my complexion.
What about, like, what color would Drizzt wear?
Black.
Black. Perhaps a little bit of mainly black with a green trimming. Do you prefer forest theme, desert theme, icy theme, dragon theme, giant theme?
Oh, you're really tempting me with the giant. Yeah, let's go with that.
Very well. Good, excellent choice. The clapping begins again, but in this case the bell will ring instead of a clap, and the spiders will begin to start just spinning an outfit just on your person. Like they are just like spitting out the web and just using their mandibles and their legs to kind of twirl the web around you. But not in a way that's constrictive, in a way that's meant to sort of go around and fit your form in just such a way that it's comfortable, but doesn't slip off.
Oh man, I'm gonna be the belle of the ball.
Indeed. Now, do you prefer to be, prefer more of a suit, or do you prefer more of a flowing gown?
If I could get something that's more like a suit, but with a cape.
A cape. Excellent choice, my friend. You will not be disappointed. With that, it begins to resemble more of a suit. It is mainly black. So it's not quite a pinstripe, but it's kind of like that same kind of like bigger shoulders, and it has like a thick green like forest green kind of cape that kind of like trails downward almost to the knees, and there are these symbols of runic symbols in giant, in black, trailing around the outer rim of the cape.
You're starting to look the part.
Yeah.
I think we've got ourselves a hero.
Yeah, around the whole process takes around, I'd say, or so 10 minutes. But the outfit is complete, and you have a very fancy outfit at your disposal, Hawks. And it fits your giant form completely.
So what's the damages?
The price is... If illusion begins to shimmer. It's free! Free!
Oh, look at that. I'm going to assume that this suit was partially made to accommodate my armor as well.
Yes, it is.
I will treasure it always.
Excellent. Very well. I hope you enjoy your outfit. And the illusion will bow, and you will begin to fade away.
Could we all get one?
If
No.
you so wish, you
Jump on the pedestal.
Right, you jump on the pedestal. Welcome to the Emporium. I am Silksmith Mixel.
Hello. I heard the spiel. I kind of know what I want. I'd like some flowing robes that look kind of like waterfall themed.
Ah, of course. This is very recommendable. And you've been referred by a friend. That gets your discount of free. Yes, of course. What is your favorite color?
Greens and blues.
Greens and blues. This can certainly be done. Very much. Would you assume it to be a lily pond-esque theme, or perhaps something else as well?
Probably something like some sort of a slow flowing creek or something like that. A lily pond would be okay, yeah.
But you're not feeling it. You don't desire it too much. You desire more. Yes, no, I can sense it. Flowing waters, very flowing. Yes, I imagine a cape very much like a. Do you prefer cape? Do you like capes?
Cape's fine.
But a cape very much like a flowing waterfall, flowing off of the back. And then, do you prefer a suit or a flowing dress?
A dress, please.
I'm imagining many sashes and sachets, all meant to resemble the rivulets of a rippling pond.
Sure, yeah, that sounds really good.
Excellent. You have excellent taste, my friend. As do I. And they begin to... All the spires will come down again and will begin to create your dream outfit. And it is just as stunning, if not more so, than Hawk's is.
It's a different effect.
A different effect, yes.
I'm gonna keep this somewhere safe so I can wear it when I get back into town.
Yeah, go ahead and write that in your
think I'll
inventory as well so you don't forget. Just so you have it. Flowing waterfall gown with many sashes. And of course, for you, Hawks, have you written what your outfit is?
Yes. I've written it as fancy suit.
Fancy suit. Fair enough. Excellent. All right. Anyone else wish to hop on the pedestal? Or are you good where you are?
I'll give it a shot.
All right. Welcome to the Emporium. I am Silksmith Mixel. What is it you desire? What outfit do you wish me to make?
Yeah, I think a nice little suit would be cool. Fancy.
Fancy suit. What are you going for? What do you desire? Do you have a theme in mind? Do you perhaps a dragon themed, or perhaps one with your intellect, something resembling kind of starts looking at you.
How do you feel about gears?
Gears. So more metallic theme. Perhaps with a bunch of buckles of different metals like bronze, brass, iron, silver, gold.
I like it.
Excellent. Do you have a particular metal in mind that is your favorite metal?
Brass.
Brass. Very good. Do you prefer capes or no capes?
Definitely a cape.
Hats or no hats?
Hmm.
I'm just kidding.
Can
We
I get
don't
a-
do we don't do hats here. I'm just joking.
Fair enough.
Just-
But can I get a hood in the cape?
Cape then, very well. Any particular theme for a cape? Do you want it to resemble a giant gear, or is that perhaps too tacky?
Hmm. I don't know about resembling one, but if it could have a gear pattern, that would be really interesting.
Gearing pattern, that can certainly be done. And with that, you'll begin to work right away. So you have at your disposal a finely crafted suit with many different buckles that are laden with brass. All along like the legs and the arms. It's almost like you're very heavily looks like you're heavily armed. You have different places where you could slot different things in. Like knives or tools. It's very much practical as it is very fashion, right? Very much good looking. And the cape itself drifts down. It's a bit of a shorter cape. It's more like a mantle than a cape, but it is laden with all different manner of like gears and all different sorts of patterns that kind of like resemble very much almost like a miniature workshop in a way. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nicely made. Very bit simpler than the other ones, but you get this. The material's a bit sturdier as well.
Excellent.
I was imagining for a second when you first said you wanted a suit like Skanuk wearing like a mafia boss suit.
It could resemble one if that was your desire.
Right. I was gonna say that, but
Is it
I was like,
not?
I'm just gonna let him choose what he wants before I say anything.
Mm-hmm. You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
You have a daughter?
No.
Oh boy. Alright, so. Scales, did you wish to jump upon the pedestal? Alright. The illusion will look at the paper as you step on the pedestal. I'm sorry, but this is a pre-created illusion. I'm afraid I have no ability to read what you hand to me. You wish to speak your desire, and I will make it. Ah, I see. No, this can certainly be done. Yes, no. Do you prefer? Let's see. I mainly deal in silks, but I can. Yeah, Yeti inspired. No, that is not my usual work, but it can be done. Yes, excellent. I mostly deal in silks, but I could make it resemble fur by ruffling it just so. Yes, I can make this work. The bell sort of rings again as he mimics the gesture of clapping. And the spiders will begin wrapping you up, Scales. And you are completely covered in this white silk. It's very much like the mantle itself kind of drapes around almost like a cloak. But it seems like it can roll up into itself to like shorten the length with like a tiny little sash. Almost like a hoodie in a way. Like you can like pull strings and draw up the mantle. But it is the silk is ruffled so much that it kind of resembles matted yeti fur. And there are two brown spots near the back which would resemble a hood that almost look like horns, yeti horns.
I like it.
We should all stack up and ask for a trench coat that'll fit Hawks.
Okay.
Are we gonna do that? That was sort of a joke.
I know it was meant to be a joke, but do you all want to attempt it?
There's certainly nothing that'll stop us from trying.
Yeah, sure. Get on.
All right.
All right. And now we're going to do something we haven't done in a long time. I would like everyone to make a deception check. This is a group deception check.
Oh man, we're doing the stack again.
It's been a long time.
It's Been a while.
I have no bonus to deception,
Back
but I
of
can
the
have
trench.
advantage on it.
Okay.
I don't have stats
I'm gonna-
for this guy, so I'm just gonna.
I'm gonna use my last flash of genius on myself to make it an 18.
Natural 1.
Damn, didn't need to do that. But alright.
That's okay. You never know. Is it specifically for failed rolls?
It's just any check.
Just any check? Okay.
Any check, save, or attack.
Fair enough.
Wow, that's so versatile.
It is. It's brutally useful.
You see the the image of Silksmith Mixel will begin to fade in and out for a second. Welcome, treasure customer. Welcome. What is it you desire?
I guess I'm the head.
Yep.
I want a trench coat that'll fit around my frame and make me comfortable and safe and not fall to pieces, if you get my meaning.
Trench coat. A bit heavier than we're used to, but will silk be fine?
Silk's fine.
Very well. Now we'll make a silken outfit to resemble a trench coat. Now, we do not do hats, unfortunately, but I can make a hood.
A hood'll work. Yeah.
And this shall be my greatest creation. I'm just kidding, I've made so many creations, it's so hard to pick a favorite. But you'll begin to clap again, and the bell-like sound will ring out, and these face spiders will get to work. Now, did you have a particular color in mind? Because this is as much everyone's trench coat, so everyone's desire can be in play here.
I just imagined like your average trench coat. I don't know how people imagine that.
I always think of like a dusty grayish color.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Okay, dusty gray.
Can we get it with a belt so that I can put the Drist mask on and it looks like a belt buckle?
Ah, yes. Like a silk belt.
Indeed.
We need to make it like a gigantic kobold mask that we can have like in front, so like the three people on top can hold this mask up inside the hood and operate it.
Is it like a
puppet the
Kigurumi
jaws.
hood? Like it's like you pull over, looks like a kobold hood.
Yes.
Very well. The trench coat fits all of you perfectly. Fits over without making it a bit awkward, considering the placement. But it is a dusty gray, as desired. It has a nice silken belt which can fit Hawks' mask perfectly. In addition, there's a little hood on the back. It's a silken hood on the back that resembles a kobold head. Has two little eye holes as well. So, you can put in your inventory, giant dusty gray trench coat with mask belt and kobold hood, which might be a bit lengthy, but that's like essentially like the base description.
We have Hawks kill that because
Yeah,
no one else
I'll
will be able
carry
to.
it because it's.
Kobold's back in the trench coat.
Kobold.
That's the next episode.
Exactly. Alright, and with that though, the image of Silkmaster Mixel fades, and Villain will just look at you and say, I'm not going to get anything.
You'd look nice.
I look fine enough with my age reduction, thank you very much.
You could get one with You could get one with a skull print. You like skulls, right?
But it's tacky.
Well, you can get whatever you want.
But I don't... Big roll persuasion check. Peer pressure her.
Yes, peer pressure. I want
We
Villain to
promise we
come
won't
out
judge you for it.
looking like she like had like a spa treatment day after this adventure.
27 scale.
Persuasion.
Oh my gosh. $27, 18.
Meepo's like dragging her towards the pedestal and talking to her as Scales is like doing whatever he's
Yeah, and
doing.
she's like, no, I couldn't. Oh, all right, fine. She'll just kind of like just remove her hand and just kind of like shake it. Fine. Yeah, hello, I am Silkmaster. Yes, please. I already know what I want. She'll just kind of start whispering. Yes. Yes. That can certainly be done. Yes, of course. Really? That's doable. Very well. And the spiders will begin to get to work. And with that, you will see Valin's new outfit begin to take place. And begin to be created all around her. You will see a very simple cloak, but it is... The main body of the cloak is pure white, and it kind of like goes down into an actual dress. You will notice that there is a little bit of... There's a little bit of green, just like a green sash that's dangling from her like her midsection. And there's a red sash as well that's tied to the green one. There's a lime green sash as well. It seems to be like a bunch of sashes kind of stacked with each other that kind of like start draping from like the top part of the waist to the lower waist. And there is also, let's see, what color? Okay, this will make it obvious then. What color are Scales?
A faded grayish blue.
Faded grayish blue. There's also a faded grayish blue sash as well.
Oh.
Yeah. So these sashes kind of like make up part of like the midsection, and she kind of like folds her arms and kind of looks in your direction. There. Are you happy?
You look lovely.
Thank you. And with that, it's 11:55. I'd say this would be a good opportunity to bring the session for a close, as next time you will start to venture towards the wellspring.
Ooh. That's an
Dun,
ominous
dun,
name.
dun.
But indeed. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Wherever you are, I hope you're staying safe. And we'll see you, hopefully, next time. But until then, bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.